Welcome back to the channel. It's just isn't about just the headlines. It's about money, borders, and movement in a world that's tightening every single day. And that's why at Wealth and Rich, we like to focus on one idea: gaining your keys to freedom. In today's lineup, Uncle Sam is landing in Trinidad and Tobago, sparking sovereignty concerns. The U.S. government sues the U.S. Virgin Islands over gun rights. The golden visa race for European citizenship heats up between Portugal and Greece. Europe slams the door on Russian tourists. And finally, the FDIC quietly opens the door for banks to issue crypto stablecoins. Every one of these stories answers the same question: who holds the keys? Let's dive in. And we start in the Caribbean, where sovereignty is being tested in real time. In Trinidad and Tobago, the government has approved the U.S. military transit through national airports. Officials call it routine logistical cooperation, while critics calling it something else entirely. Opposition leaders argue this turns the country into a geopolitical pawn. With Venezuela nearby and U.S. radar systems already installed, the concern isn't just about planes landing, it's about who ultimately controls the airspace, security, and decision-making. This is the uncomfortable reality of the modern world. Small states trade sovereignty for stability, often without realizing the long-term costs. And that theme continues just north in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The U.S. Justice Department is suing territory over its gun laws, arguing local regulations violate the Second Amendment. Translation? Even semi-autonomous regions are learning where local authority ends and federal power begins. Whether it's airspace or firearms, the message is clear. Jurisdiction matters. And if you don't choose yours carefully, it'll be chosen for you. Now on to Europe, where borders aren't just lines on a map, they're becoming filters. For Russian travelers, Europe is effectively becoming a fortress. Multi-year visas are disappearing. Single entry approvals are shrinking. Rejections are rising. Even Cyprus, long seen as flexible, is enforcing strict EU compliance. Tourism is already rerouting towards Turkey and Asia. So here's a split screen reality. If you're capital poor, doors are closing. But if you're capital ready, doors are still opening. The golden visa race is heating up. Portugal remains the heavyweight, but instability is creeping in. Proposed changes to citizenship timeline, backlogs, lawsuits, and shifting rules are shaking investors' confidence. Greece is still capitalizing on that uncertainty. No minimum stay, lower cost of living, strong lifestyle metrics, and now #1 on the Global Retirement Index. This isn't just about visas. It's about optionality. And at Wealth and Rich, we track this daily to see which doors are still stable, which ones are political traps, and which keys still works before they change the locks. And finally, let's talk money, because freedom without financial access is an illusion. The FDIC has proposed a framework allowing subsidiaries of insured banks to issue payment stable coins. Following the passage of the Genius Act, this is a very big tectonic shift, because for many years, crypto lived outside the banking system. Now banks are being invited in under federal laws, fully backed, and regulated by digital dollars. Translation: governments aren't fighting digital currencies anymore. They're absorbing it. And for my fellow key seekers, this raises some serious questions. Like, which banks, which jurisdictions, which currencies are going to continue to remain neutral or will become neutral? And for a modern day wealth strategy, it just isn't about returns. It's about redundancy, access, and jurisdictional leverage. From military aircraft in the Caribbean to visa walls in Europe to banks issuing digital money, the world is reorganizing faster every day. As we move closer to 2026, there's a very simple takeaway. Sovereignty is shrinking, and optionality is becoming priceless. So, let me know down in the comments, do you think Greece is going to be the play for investors in 2026? Or for those investors currently holding the Caribbean passport, shaking their boots with the thought of American military making their might? And don't forget to like and subscribe before you make those comments for me. And it's your world. Just make sure you're holding the right keys. If you subscribe, you might get the right ones. Let me know. See you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.
This video is sponsored by Bond & Partners. Looking for a second passport? At Bond & Partners, we fast-track citizenship in just 2 to 6 months. We also help you secure residency and establish companies in the world's most strategic jurisdictions. Bond & Partners, where sovereignty begins.